What is going on, guys? Dave from Wake Up It's Football alongside of Ezra from Idiot Sports Talk, bringing you guys the round one recap of the Red Zone Blitz here for the 2015 NFL Draft. A lot has gone on in the last couple of weeks. I know Ezra was in Japan. He just came back. So that's going to be some exciting things to hear about from him. And then we got the exciting, wonderful world of the NFL Draft. So, Ezra, first of all, how's it going? How was Japan? How was the whole experience?
Konnichiwa, David. You must bow, okay? They don't do handshakes out there. You got to bow, and konnichiwa is hello. Okay, that's the only word. And the only other word I said was arigato gozaimasu, which means thank you very much. I learned a few phrases. I learned a little something down there before I went. Genki desu ka means how are you? And Genki desu means I'm fine, thanks. But it was exciting over there. Tokyo especially reminded me of New York City, which I'm from. Big city. I saw like 8 Times Squares, a lot of lights, buildings, advertisement. There's a ton of vending machines everywhere in Japan, okay? Vending machines for cigarettes, coffee, soda, panties, whatever you need, David, in those vending machines all over Japan. It was an exciting trip. I had the greatest steak of all time in Japan, Kobe steak, which is one of the most expensive steaks in the world. Okay, and I had a cheap one out there, and it cost me $110 for a steak.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you, sir. But
you paid that much for a steak?
It was worth every single penny. It was like butter. It was just it was amazing. It was the greatest steak I've ever had, easily. And I love ramen, the real ramen, not that 10 cents crap a lot of college people eat, okay? Or you're in that low budget. I had the greatest ramen over there too. So I was very happy with my trip. But I enjoyed Japan, especially outside of Tokyo, the second biggest city, Osaka, Kyoto. I went to one of their islands, saw a bunch of their shrines. Beautiful, beautiful country. It's clean too. I'm talking about, I come from New York City, dirt everywhere in the streets and everything. Clean city. And it's, that's a society thing. And if you ever get a chance, guys, especially you, David, you got to go out there and experience Japan, and I will definitely go again. So if you do go, you need some company, David, holla at your boy, and we're getting some Kobe steak. So
I was gonna say,
make sure you make it rain, okay?
No, I was gonna say, like out of the top 3 countries in the world that I want to go visit, Japan is actually one of them. So the next time I go, I will let you know. It's not even the next time because I haven't been there before. But when I go,
I know we're chasing the subject, but my next trip, I'm hoping to go to Thailand. I'm going to talk to one of my boys. I want to go there for 3 months and become a human weapon, learn Muay Thai, and come back ripped. That's what I'm hoping for. Maybe next year, I'll be that next Tony Jaa or something, but fantastic. But we got to get into our reactions of the NFL Draft and talk about all the goodness and badness of last night's first round.
And badness. Yeah. Well, I mean, you had the picks that everyone thought was were coming for the most part. Jameis Winston. I was a little bit surprised by Marcus being taken at 2 by the Titans only because we thought that there's this big deal gonna go down, and there was supposedly a deal in place, but the Titans were not going to accept it. The Eagles and Chip Kelly were offering the house. I'm telling you what I mean by the house. They wanted to trade Sam Bradford to Cleveland to acquire a first-round pick. They were going to trade 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, Michael Kendricks, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Boykin, and more to get that number 2 pick for Marcus Mariota, and the Titans did not do it. So that was interesting. That was really interesting. They really valued that pick. I think more than probably others would have. But Marcus is a Tennessee Titan. You got, I don't know, man, Dante Fowler, Jacksonville, Amari Cooper, Raiders, Brandon Schreff to the Redskins at 5. I mean, these first 5 picks.
I think that was the first maybe surprise. Don't you think that was the first that the Redskins going guard, 5th overall pick?
Yeah, some people have him as a tackle. Some people have him as a guard. Yeah, I think it was kind of high. I thought it was kind of high for Schroff. I had him more in the 9 range to the Giants, but I was actually a bit surprised that they didn't go with Leonard Williams at that point because of the value. But in my first draft profile that I did, which was on Leonard Williams, I said I don't think he's going to go in the top 3 or 4 like everyone else is expecting him to. So he actually did go 6 to your Jets, which I think we should talk about because I want to kind of get your reaction on that and what you think about the Leonard Williams pick.
Well, you always knew that I wanted Amari Cooper. I wanted an offensive weapon, and I thought he was the most polished, most ready, the guy that could lead us to the future at that skilled position down the road. Obviously, he was picked by the Raiders. I didn't really want to go defense, but at the value at number 6, because most people expect him to go in the first 3 picks or 4 picks, and this gives us options now. I'm happy, first of all, that my new regime actually went with their best available player on their board. They didn't look at need. They said, because obviously we don't need a need with Sheldon and Mo. They said, you know what? He's our best available player. There's no one else graded as high as him on our board. We take him no matter what, which I love. Something the Jets, I feel like, haven't done in ever. So I really appreciate that. I like that good look, and it gives us options because now, Mo, he's sitting out some of this training camp stuff and the voluntary workouts, and he wants a new contract because he's coming to his last year of his deal. We could control him for another year, obviously. So do we want to trade him later down the line? Let these 3 play together. Our rotation and that defensive line will be deadly now. I really like the moves because it gives us options going forward because now we could trade Mo maybe next year's draft and possibly get a first-round pick and another pick with that because he's a young guy. He's a stud, and we can save money going forward because we'll have Williams and Sheldon because if you pay Mo, you're going to eventually play Sheldon and stuff like that. So I really like this. It gives us plenty of options.
My initial inclination was, if I remember correctly, I thought the Jets were down to about a minute on the clock or so, maybe 2 minutes. I think from what I'm kind of perceived was maybe they were trying to trade back. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to see if someone wanted Leonard and saw what kind of offers that they would get. But I think they made the right decision going BPA there. I don't know why you'd want to get rid of Mo. I think it's because it's going to come down to the money and whether they can afford to keep him or not. But if they can't, now they have Leonard Williams there. So my only I wouldn't say concern, but my only question would be I think he played more of a 4-3 at USC. Now they're going to be sticking him into a 3-4. So we'll see what happens. I think that Jets defense is scary though, for sure. I think top 5, top 10 at the latest, somewhere in there. But the Jets have a scary defense, and they just added Leonard Williams.
To add to your point, I've read that they actually turned down a trade when Williams was available. So maybe they were weighing their options at that point. And another thing is, the Jets now have the best hair in the NFL because now that Troy Polamalu retired, we can easily add that to the value of the team. Okay, best hair in the NFL, future commercials. David, you might have some competition. I'm just letting you know, Lou Williams got the beautiful fro there. It extends nice. If his hair matches his game on the field, he's going to be a stud. So, like I said, it gives us options, flexibility. I like that a lot. And we went with our best available player on the board. I'm all around happy as a Jets fan, even though I did not want to go defense because I didn't believe, and most people didn't believe, Williams would have dropped that far. So, what can I say? Very happy Jets fan. But to be honest, after the whole draft was completed, I think my first initial reaction of the draft, it was lackluster last night. What happened to the big deals? Marcus Mariota being traded at number 2 or anything. That it was just to be honest, a boring draft. What happened to the drama? What happened to the excitement? What happened to all the good things that make a great show? I don't think last night's draft was a great emotional ride like most drafts. It certainly didn't live up to the free agent frenzy we had earlier this year. So yeah, I think that was my first initial reaction. Like, man, come on, what happened to all the sazon? What was the bang at? Bang! I didn't see that last night. That's only my first initial reaction of the draft.
No, I agree, and I was kind of surprised that you usually see more trades, but we didn't see that. We saw 2 trades last night. We saw trading up from 17 to 15 with the Niners, and we saw the Broncos trading up with the Lions from 27 or 28 to 23. Kevin White here. I'm just going to go through the list. We'll go down through the list, and we'll talk about who we liked, who we didn't like. Kevin White to Chicago at 7. Vic Beasley at 8 to the Falcons. Eric Flowers at 9 to the Giants. Todd Gurley at 10 to the Rams, which I thought was an interesting move. Now they have kind of a 2-headed monster running back with him and Trey Mason.
Remember, I mentioned that in our mock. I said if I didn't have – remember, I had that spot traded out in my mock draft, but I said if they keep the pick, I said watch out for Todd Gurley at number 10. Remember I said that, David?
Yeah, you did.
And I think that's one thing we should put – I put in my list over here. 2 running backs go in the first 15 picks. I guess that tells you if the talent's there, a running back will be taken. But I think a lot of credit goes to Le'Veon Bell. Don't you think that why these 2 running backs went in the first round? To justify the impact a running back can have for a team. The way the season that Bell had for the Steelers, put everything together for their offense last year.
I don't know. I mean, Gurley had the question marks because of his health.
But
Gordon didn't really. He did. He did. And he was actually even surprised that he went in the top 10. He was not expecting that. He really wasn't. Not a lot of people were. But when you have an offensive weapon like that with the potential, some people saying he's the best running back since Adrian Peterson, why not take a shot? Why not? If you can get Adrian Peterson in the draft or somebody a notch below Adrian Peterson in the draft, I think anyone would take him, even with the whole injury concern, whatever.
Does it bother you that he went number 10?
No, I don't think it bothers me. The only thing that would bother me if someone went number 10 if they were a kicker or a punter. Anything else, anybody else at the position, at whatever position, if they have the talent, you've done your due diligence. They don't have any off-the-field concerns. The only concern with Gurley is his injury history. Then you take him at 10. If that's how you feel and that's how the board plays out and you're going BPA or you're going with the best player available on your board, then that's what you do. So I think that's what the Rams did. And according to actually the Rams, the number 1 player on their board was Marcus Mariota, and the number 2 player on their board was Todd Gurley. So at 10, they took their, Mariota was gone. They took the best player on their board, and that was Todd Gurley.
Which I really like, and like I said, I think that was a total Jeff Fisher move. I think Jeff Fisher said, hey, I'm using my authority here. I want Todd Gurley. This is the type of offense I want to run. And he wants to make it easier for Nick Foles. So, I felt like that was the position that Todd Gurley was going to go. I knew Jeff Fisher. I know his personality. So, I'm happy it worked out for Todd Gurley and the running back.
Getting some comments here. Johnny U says you're wrong about Cam, wrong about Bridgewater, going to be wrong about Winston. I don't know if that's directed to me or Ezra. I don't know if I ever talked crap about Cam. You know what? I might have said something about Cam like the first week he came out. And if this person's been here since like 2012 or whenever, or 2013 when Cam came out, that's impressive. But I remember one time I made a video about Cam Newton saying that it was only his first week in the NFL and everyone should calm down. But I never really was against Cam Newton. Bridgewater, I was a little bit. Winston, I was only because of his off-the-field issues, but we'll see. 18 Lockhart, I'm a proponent of the BPA draft strategy. However, the Colts did make me scratch my head. I like Dorsett, and he was the best player on their board at the time, but why do you invest a first-round pick in a position where where you are extremely deep at? There are more decent options to build up the defense for us. I'm not convinced Dorsett has was even the best receiver available at 29. My only thing is with that is Andrew Luck's going to make him look like, Jerry Rice. Andrew Luck is going to make everybody look like Jerry Rice. And Andre Johnson, older receiver, doesn't have too many seasons left in him. You pair him up with T.Y. Hilton. You add Dorsett to kind of learn behind some of those guys. I think you're set for a little while at the position. So it makes a little bit more sense to me just because you add another weapon to that offense for Andrew Luck. But again, I thought they could have won defense with that at safety, maybe outside linebacker, maybe defensive tackle. But they decided to go with wide receiver.
Willify says, what about a fullback at number 10?
Or a fullback.
I don't even think a fullback we would consider that as a dying position in the NFL, right? I don't think there's maybe a handful of teams that use fullbacks, right? I think there's only a handful of teams. That position is that's why David didn't say fullback, because he doesn't even I barely remember any fullbacks' names in the NFL right now.
The last one that was, I think, a monster was Mike Allstott, right?
The A-Train?
Or William Henderson.
The guy, what wasn't Reese? Reese was pretty good, right, from the Raiders. I wasn't a monster, but he was pretty good.
Marcel Reese?
Yeah, wasn't he? He could catch the ball out of the backfield pretty fast for a fullback. I'm not saying he's a monster, but he was pretty good. Yeah, solid.
Is he still on the Raiders?
I don't even know if he's still in the league. I'm just saying fullback position is considered dead in the NFL. If not, they're laying on the ground needing some serious CPR, the fullback position.
Well, I know the Packers still have a fullback in John Kuhn, so.
Cool. That wasn't he a Jet? Cool.
Nah, he wasn't a Jet.
It was Connor. Yeah, we had a guy named Connor. That was a Rex Ryan pick, obviously.
Keep going down the list. You got Trey Waynes at 11 from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Shout out to K-Town. To the Vikings. Danny Shelton of Cleveland at 12. Andrews Pete, the offensive tackle, to the Saints at 13. Devontae Parker, the wide receiver, at 14 to the Dolphins. Most Dolphins fans wanted Devontae Parker, and they got him. And then you had the Chargers, who were at 17, trade up to 15 to take running back Melvin Gordon, another Kenosha, Wisconsin, Bradford alumni. Shout out to K-Town.
Yeah, representing your high school over here, huh? Throwing it up.
Trey Waynes, Melvin Gordon, man. They've been best friends for a long time. And it's kind of funny to see them both taken in the top 15. That's nuts.
Well, the Chargers jumped ahead of the Texans, believing they would have took Melvin Gordon.
Why? That was my question. I was asking myself that. Why do you trade up to 15 from 17?
They gave up a lot, too, for those two picks. They gave up a fourth and a fifth, I believe.
A fifth in 2016. But still, nonetheless, 2 picks to trade up 2 spots. Do you really think they were going to take Melvin?
I've heard talk about it because, they're Foster, he's got his health history going on, and I guess he's getting up there in age, quote unquote, but I don't know. They must have had a strong belief, and they must have really had him high on their board to give up that much for a running back. And it just shows once again, there goes another team that values the running back pretty high, huh?
Well, they don't have anyone there. Ryan Matthews is on the Eagles. They have Danny Woodhead.
They have Brown, Donald Brown.
No, that's not going to get it done. They need a big playmaker,
They could sign Trent Richardson, right?
No, he's on the Raiders.
Sure, that monster's not on the Raiders. Oh, okay, my bad. I didn't know that, but they could have traded for him. I think. But no, I guess I'm just. Why give up that much to move up 2 spots? But hey, they must have believed in him, and that's what they think. Hopefully, he works out well for them. But they could have been some. You think they could have waited to the second round if the Texans would have picked him up? I don't think the Texans would have picked him up. I think they would have waited to the second round. The Texans to pick up.
I think that I just feel like Arian Foster is still going to be their guy.
Well, he is still their guy. He had a pretty good when he did play, but remember, he suffered through injuries last year too. But when he did play, he was very productive.
Right. Which leads me to believe that I don't know if they would have taken Melvin at 16.
Well,
to be honest with you. I don't think they would have taken Melvin at 16, but the Chargers wanted to
the
not
short.
sit here like we are and
Yeah.
question it, and they wanted to guarantee it. So that's why they traded up. They're like, we're not risking it. They probably were waiting until Miami to see if Miami was going to take him. And after Miami didn't, they're like, all right, we're going to make our move right here. We're going to take Melvin. He's going to be the, workhorse running back that we don't have on our team right now. So solid pick. Pretty cool to see those two guys taken from my high school. Kevin Johnson taken at 16, the cornerback to the Houston Texans. The Niners trade back with the Chargers. They move back to 17, take Eric Armstead out of Oregon, the defensive end. Marcus Peters goes at 18 to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, so and when it was a little bit of Marcus Peters right there,
Uh-huh.
which you heard. So a lot of people were talking about he might have fallen all the way to the third round, but they're talking about off this field issues and stuff like that. It didn't matter much here, didn't it? Speaking about third round, he went back to the first. He went in the middle of the first. His talent warrants it, the pick, but people were concerned big time. So Marcus Peters worked out. He took a chance. All this off-the-field stupidity, and it worked out for him.
Some people say he's the best corner in this draft.
Yeah, but when it comes to skills, yes.
So they feel like they wanted to add another piece to that secondary, and that's what they did. So I guess whatever they thought about his behavioral history off the field, or I think he choked his coach or something, they were okay with it.
Hey, so Sprewell had a nice little career, right? After choking his coach.
Yeah, you choke Andy Reid, you're probably going to be having him poop out some chicken nuggets or something.
Well, you choke Andy Reid, first of all, he's already fighting for air. So if you choke Andy Reid, he might catch a charge after that. I was going to say something. You've totally ruined me with this choking Andy Reid, thinking about chicken nuggets falling out of now my mind is lost. Thanks a lot. Okay. Oh, I was going to say, thank God they didn't draft the wide receiver because he would have got 0 touchdowns also.
I don't know. They need a receiver. All they have is Jeremy Maclin.
So, of course. They need a receiver. The Chiefs don't need a receiver as long as Alex Smith is their quarterback. You know what? They should come up with new sets. They shouldn't even put wide receivers on the field. They should have just have tight ends and some multiple. They should have at least 2 fullbacks in front of Jamal Charles and make him the offense.
Really quickly on the Melvin Gordon note, Arizona Animal says San Diego had to trade up because the Cardinals were about to trade up and select him at 16, which is an interesting point. I haven't heard that from anywhere, but it is possible. San Francisco could have also taken Melvin, but I don't think that was going to happen. Only because if they wanted to take Melvin, they would have just stayed at 15 and taken him. I don't think they would have traded with the Chargers and allowed them to do that.
He said San Francisco would have taken him too. That's what Justin said. Willify says, don't want to face Sheldon and Doug Dupree twice a year.
We'll get to the Steelers pick at 22, I think it was, in a second. Let me just finish these last couple ones here, because at 19, Cameron Irving, the center, went to Cleveland. At 20, the wide receiver, Nelson Aguilar, went to the Eagles, which was, I don't know if it was, I think that was probably a bit of a reach. Also, Arizona Animal says the Eagles had the worst first-round pick. They were reaching on that as well. At 21, Cedric, I think it's Ogabui, the offensive tackle at Texas A&M, goes to Cincinnati. Now at 22, Bud Dupree, outside linebacker out of Kentucky, goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of people thought he was going to be gone by the top 10, top 15. He's there at 22. The Steelers take him. My only thing is, in the last couple of years, I felt like they've gone at the linebacker position first round every time. I want to take a look at the roster really quickly. I know Jarvis Jones a couple years ago got taken by the Steelers. Ryan Shazier last year got taken by the Steelers. Now you got Bud Dupree. That linebacking core, if everybody, plays like their former selves because I know Jarvis Jones so far hasn't played very well at all. Ryan Shazier, I didn't look too much into this last season. I don't know how he did. There's potential there in that linebacking core.
All I need to say is, remember I told you about the seashells a couple of red zone blitz ago? Steelers do it once again. The seashells, they just wait right on the sand. You know, they wait for the ocean to bring in them seashells, baby. Great value here, number 22, Bud Dupree. You got to love the Steelers, baby. You got to love the Steelers organization because they're smart. This is a great value. You just said he could have been a top 10, top 15 guy, and they get him at 22. Seashells, baby. You don't go chasing them. I should come out with like a TLC song, an old 90s R&B song come out. Don't go chasing seashells. Steelers don't do that. They wait.
Oh, man.
And speaking about number 23, you know, they got another great value. I know you're going to love that.
Yeah, you had the Broncos traded up from 28 to 23 for Shane Ray. Now, I think yesterday I told everybody, you know, mark my words, Shane Ray is going to be the best pass rusher in this draft. Whoever takes him is going to have the best pass rusher. This Broncos defense is scary. Von Miller, Shane Ray, DeMarcus Ware, Derek Wolfe, Sylvester Williams, all the free agents that they signed. Aqib Talib is on that defense, isn't he?
Yes. I thought you were talking about their looks for a second about scary. Like, there's some ugly dudes on that team.
I'm talking about the defense in general. That's a scary defense. They drafted a corner last year, too. What's his name? I forgot.
Roy. Brandon Roy or something?
Roby.
Roby. Okay, there you go. I was close.
That defense is no joke. I like this defense that they're putting together in Denver right now. So TJ Ward is also there at safety. This defense is scary, man. I don't want to play them. I'm glad I'm not in their division. But nonetheless, they add another top 10 talent, Shane Ray. I think this was a great pick by the Denver Broncos. So, you know, his pass rushing abilities, his motor, just him being just a pure edge rusher. I think, you know, great pick by the Broncos. I think he's going to be the best pass rusher in this draft. Pairing him up with Von Miller is disgusting. You better, if you're in the AFC West, you better just give that division right now to the Broncos. Not just because they just drafted Shane Ray, but that team I feel is like very, very complete on both sides of the ball. So now they add another piece to that at the position of the edge rushing position. Besides the quarterback position, I think the edge rushing position, having an elite presence there, is the second most important position, on a team that you can have.
I was going to say, in Shane Ray's defense, I was going to say, and smoking that Mary J is legal in Denver. So I know he's very happy about that. Still legal by NFL standards, but hey, just saying, that's why they probably didn't care. Hey, it's legal over here. We don't care about his off-the-field, quote-unquote, issues.
So I think they got a great pick there at 23. 24, DJ Humphries, the offensive tackle out of Arizona. Nothing flashy. Adding to that offensive line, protecting 37, 38, 47-year-old Carson Palmer, however old he is very brittle. Shaq Thompson at 25, outside linebacker / running back. Running back. I thought that was an interesting move by the Panthers. They're going to place him, I think, at outside linebacker next to Luke Kuechly. So I don't know much about Shaq Thompson. I don't know much about some of these guys because I didn't get to watch the tape. But some people are saying he was a second rounder. Some people are saying the Panthers reached on this pick. So 26.
If you could play two positions, you could spot them at the running back sometimes because they'll probably need some help there too. Why not? He adds value. No, I'm serious. You know, maybe, just maybe they might spot. I was joking around with my friends yesterday. They were slamming me, talking about he's not going to play two positions. I'm not saying he's going to play two positions in the NFL, but maybe he might do a spot here and there. You know, maybe there's a quick injury he can fill in. Hey, Troy Brown did it for the Patriots for a little bit, right? Just a little bit, but his position wasn't as physical as Shaq Thompson.
Just looking down in the comments, Justin Henneberry says, "I think we're gonna see Chip Kelly get fired after this season."
Nah, even if he has a bad year, I don't think he'll get fired.
Arizona Animal Broncos got a pass rush, but they have nobody to stop the run, and they lost Pot Roast at defensive tackle. I would disagree. They have Sylvester Williams, who hasn't really come on yet. They have Derek Wolfe. So I don't know. They got a couple guys there at the interior defensive line position. 18 Lockhart, the Steelers might as well play a 3-8 defense where they have 3 D linemen, 8 linebackers on the field because their secondary isn't worth putting on the field. It's kind of funny. What else? What else you guys giving us today? There are no great cornerbacks to take for the Steelers at 22, and Dupree was a huge value and a need. Best pick in the first round, according to Red Leg Fan 19. And according to Red Leg Fan 19, the Bengals also had the worst first-round pick, which leads me to assume that Red Leg Fan 19 is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
That's what I thought so too. I was reading his comments. Who else do we have here? Boom, boom, boom. What pick were you up to? Oh, you're going with the Ravens are next, right?
Yeah. Did you see Brashard Perryman last night?
I didn't see him last night. No, I did not.
Yeah. You want to do me a favor?
What do you
Google Brashard Perryman. Go to images, because I don't know if it was just me, but I thought he looked like a 40-year-old crackhead.
You.
And he's 20.
Yeah. He's got that. Oh, yeah. Whoa, yes, he does. I don't know about the crackhead look, but his hairline is way back there. Yeah. Well, that picture, I see other pictures of him. He looks okay, but that one picture from last night. Oh yeah, wow. Yeah, I see what you mean. He just has that. What's that Greg Oden look to him? You know, some of these guys look way advanced for their age.
He's 20.
You ever saw Greg Oden at 19? You better Google Greg Oden. His knees was 40, 45, easy at 19, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. This guy, I don't know about the crackhead part, but he looks like one of those guys that just He looks well used.
He didn't need a wide receiver, but I don't know. I don't know about this pick.
He has all the talent. He's very raw. That's what he doesn't have the production to go with his talent. He's got the size. He's got the ridiculous speed. He's got all the things you want in a wide receiver. I've heard some talk. I forgot which analyst or expert actually had him up there with Kevin White and Amari Cooper. One of these.
They all did. They had him as like a top 15 pick at one point.
But I was gonna say Ozzie Newman, to me, like I said, I've said it plenty of times, the best GM in football.
Ozzie Newsome or Newman?
Isn't it Newman? Ozzie. Now you
killing me.
Now you killing me. You gonna have
I gotta Google this.
Newsman. What?
Newsome. Right?
Yeah, Newsome. Yep.
Yeah.
Ozzie?
That was right.
You're right. You're right. Still the best GM in football, even if I got his name wrong. But that's what I do to every player and GM in the league. So once again, you go for this. Why not take a reach? And even if he's not going to be asked to do anything complicated, he's probably going to do what Troy Smith did when he first got with the Ravens: run deep, go down the field. Let's make Joe Flacco use his arm and stretch the field. That's what
getting questions. Getting a ton of questions here about a whole lot of stuff.
I see some fights in the red zone comment box. And then FanDuel comment box over here.
Who's the best available running back in round 2? Willify says, I'm a Bengals fan. I think we had the worst pick in round 1. Did Dorial Green Beckham not go in the first just because of his off-the-field issues? Yes, and also because he didn't play last season. Some people think he's raw. I think he'll go tonight in the second round. Somebody's going to take a shot on him.
Hopefully to the Jets.
I'm huge on Dorial Green Beckham. I think
hopefully to the Jets, and he'll become the best Beckham wide receiver in New York.
I think he's gonna come in, contribute right away to a team. Also, why did Randy Gregory not go in the first? Better than Shane Ray, in my opinion. I disagree, but Randy Gregory is another one of those guys who, in the draft process, he told teams that the last time he had smoked marijuana was in last November. They said, okay, fine, cool, don't do it. He said, okay, awesome, fantastic. Comes the combine, he gets hit and he gets tested positive for marijuana. So all these teams that he just interviewed with, he just lied to and told them, yeah, I haven't smoked since November, but yet I still tested in February. So I just lied to your face throughout these interview processes. And it left left a bad taste in a lot of teams' mouth, and they didn't want to take a shot on the guy who was dishonest. So I think by the time, 6 o'clock Central tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, I think he'll get taken in the second round based off of his talent, not off of his poor interview skills. So
I was listening to a former general manager last night on ESPN radio. I don't know his last name. It's Vincent something. I forgot his last name. And he was saying, he said, I would take off Randy Gregory off my board, not only because the marijuana issue, is because he believes he's lazy. He said he came into the workout saying he was 235. He said, I can gain weight. I could put on weight. He said, I saw him again at the combine, and he didn't gain any weight. This guy doesn't put in any work. He's got the off-the-field issues. He's a liar. He said he put up all these flags last night about Randy Gregory and the reasons why he would not draft him, even though he has top 10 talent, which he admitted to. So maybe a lot of GMs feel the same way like Vincent does.
I wouldn't be shocked if he falls to the third round. We've seen it happen. And for those of you listening right now who probably think I'm crazy for saying that, think back a couple years ago. Who was a top 5 pick in everybody's mock draft and fell to the third round? Can you remember that name, Ezra, or do I have to?
Or repeat that thing? I was reading comments. I'm sorry.
There was a top 5 pick on everybody's mock drafts up until draft day. Maybe he fell to the top 10. But when it came time to the actual draft, he fell to the third round.
Oh, you're talking about Honey Badger?
No.
Not talking about Honey Badger? Okay.
Demontre Moore. Defensive end who went to the Giants in the third round. Everyone has him as a top 5, top 10 pick. He falls to the third round. Same thing can happen to Gregory. I mean, this isn't a guarantee. This isn't a surefire thing for Gregory. Granted, talent-wise, he's the best player on probably everybody's board. But do you take him at, in the second? Do you take him in the first, second round when he has all these red flags, or do you wait and take him in the third? It's only going to take one team to fall in love with his talent over his knuckleheadedness to take him in the second round. But if teams are smart, maybe if 32 teams are smart, they wait till the third. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps falling, and I also wouldn't be surprised if he gets taken right away. It's a crapshoot.
A good team, a playoff-ready team, can absorb this type of player more than a bad team, because obviously a bad team needs a player to perform on the field. Okay, a playoff team necessarily wouldn't need him to, play every single down, and you could put him in check real quick. But dude, we really don't need you. And maybe him falling, he knows, when you're lazy and this and that, you have all the talent in the world, and he's probably lackadaisical about it. Like, you know what, these guys got to pick me. I'm the man. I got all this talent in the world. Maybe falling out of the first day, losing all that money last night makes him realize I got to wake up. Some guys never do. We obviously seen that plenty of times in the history of sports. Guys do not wake up. Is he going to be one of the guys that wakes up? We'll find out. Last night was a wake-up call. You have top 10 talent, and 32 teams just passed by you.
Might be another 32 tonight in the second round. Taryn, my buddy Taryn says, what's up? What's going on? 18 Lockhart says, if anyone has any questions about Dorial Green-Beckham on the field abilities, they should go watch his tape against Kentucky. What he did to them is illegal in 28 states. Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I think Dorial Green Beckham is going to be a gem that everyone overlooks, doesn't draft in the first round, maybe drafts him in the second, and then he just explodes on the scene. So we'll see. Do you think any teams will trade up for Landon Collins or Lyle Collins? It's one of the two. Or Jalen Collins. I don't know which Collins you're talking about because they're all still available in round 2, and this is coming from Willify. The dude asks, Packers take inside linebacker in the second round. I'm really hoping so because that's one of the biggest needs, no doubt. I would agree. Let me get to the last couple of picks, and then we'll break down everything. Byron Jones, cornerback, goes to Dallas at 27. Laken Tomlinson, the offensive guard out of Duke, goes to the Detroit Lions at 28. Philip Dorsett, the wide receiver out of Miami, goes to 29 to the Indianapolis Colts. Demarius Randall, the safety out of Arizona State, goes to 30 to the Green Bay Packers. Stephon Anthony, the inside linebacker out of Clemson, goes at 31 to the New Orleans Saints. And at 32, to round out the first round, Malcolm Brown, defensive tackle out of Texas, goes to the New England Patriots.
As usual, waiting for the seashells. Bill Belichick, waiting for the seashells.
Yeah, Malcolm Brown was probably going anywhere from 17 to 25 on a lot of mocks. He ends up going 32 to the New England Patriots.
I saw as high as 12 to the Saints.
Wow.
Brown. Yeah. Great value here. I think, if you're asking me what are the best values of the first round, maybe I'm being biased. My Jets at number 6, Steelers, Broncos, Ravens, and Patriots.
I don't know about Ravens. I don't know about Perriman. But I would agree with all the other ones.
He's got the potential. That's what I'm saying. Do I believe he's going to translate? I don't know. But he has the potential.
Should I talk about my Packers pick at 30?
Of course, man. That's your team. Are you excited, not excited? What's going on, David? How do you feel about your Green Bay Packers?
Demarius Randall, quote unquote here, most people saying he's the best cover safety in the draft. Some people have him as the best safety overall in the draft over Landon Collins out of Alabama. So the Packers took him. He's an undersized safety, about 5'11". They want to play him at corner, potentially even in the slot. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to have Sam Shields on one side, Casey Hayward on the other, have Demarius Randall in the slot, Clinton Dix, and Morgan Burnett at safety. We could still have a solid secondary, and this guy had, I want to say 12 interceptions this last year. I might be wrong on that. I might be very wrong on that. I couldn't look up his stats. I might do that right now. I was actually going to watch the tape this morning. Actually, I was supposed to watch the tape right now. But, good old Ezra hits me up like, hey, let's do Red Zone Blitz. I'm like, boom, let's do it. But I'm going to watch the tape later on today before rounds 2 and 3 on Demarius. I think it was a solid pick. I think, I told myself, and I think a lot of Packer fans told themselves it's going to be corner, inside linebacker, or nose tackle. Potentially, especially the inside linebacker position. That's what everyone was concentrating on. And I think a lot of people were thrown off by the safety. That safety designation to Demarius Randall. I think a lot of people thought that, we drafted another safety and we're going to replace Morgan Burnett, but Ted Thompson pretty much came out and said they're gonna want to play him at corner. So that's Demarius Randall. I think solid pick for the Packers, but definitely inside linebacker tonight has to be inside linebacker in rounds 2 or 3 for the Packers, no doubt. I know somebody in the comment box was actually the dude asks about inside linebacker the second round. So Overtrick asks, do you think Garrett Grayson is the best quarterback left in the draft? I think so. I think him and Bryce Petty are the best 2 quarterbacks left in this draft, but I think Garrett Grayson has the arm. I think he has that cannon that gets the ball down the field. Bryce Petty, when I watched a little bit on him, I thought he was a little bit inaccurate. So right now I like Garrett Grayson over Bryce Petty. I think he might be those are the next 2 quarterbacks taken. I don't know if they get taken in the second round, but potentially in the third. Let's see here. Looking at your guys' comments. A lot of comments coming in. I'm actually surprised because it's the middle of the day on a Friday, but you guys are still here with us, which is awesome. Arizona Animal says Green Bay should have picked Eric Kendricks. I haven't heard too many great things about Kendricks. Overtrick says, do you see Tampa Bay drafting a wide receiver tonight? I don't know.
Say who? Who's going to draft the wide receiver tonight?
Tampa Bay.
Ooh. To replace Action Jackson? I don't know. No, I think Lovie Smith is still their head coach. He's a defensive guy. They just picked up their quarterback. I think they might go defense here. To shore up that side of the ball because Lovie Smith is that type of that's in his blood.
I'm looking at some of the best available players according to Mel Kiper. I mean, you got a lot of names still on this board, man. You got Randy Gregory, Eddie Goldman, Devin Smith, Eric Kendricks, Jalen Strong, Landon Collins, Eli Harold, TJ Clemmings, Jake Fisher, Devin Funchess. And there's also a name that I know he's high on, Eric Rowe as well at cornerback out of Utah. So there's still a lot of names on the board, man, that a lot of players are going to contribute. A lot of second-round picks tonight could have been first-round picks. In this second round right here is like, it's huge. It's huge. So it's going to be on 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central tonight. I hope you guys tune in to that because, keep your knowledge flowing with the NFL. I know all the guys watching right now, hardcore football guys.
Yeah, I want to ask the guys in the FanDuel comment box a real quick question, a personal question. I was talking to David before the video started. I'm personally starting a dynasty league, and I want to ask you guys: do you guys know any great dynasty league sites that I can go with? The one I've been checking out is My Fantasy League. I've heard a lot of good stuff about that league and that site. So I just want to take your suggestions, guys, because I know a lot of you guys are football hardcore guys. So maybe you guys will have some great sites for me to check out.
We'll see. We shall see.
And I don't think I heard you. Are you really happy about your pick for your Packers? You didn't really tell me.
Happy. If they plan on using him at corner, yeah. And even if they don't, let's say a guy goes down, he has that versatility to play safety. If like Morgan Burnett goes down, Clinton Dix goes down, you have that versatility there. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I never got to watch tape on him. I didn't get to do any research on him. So I'm gonna do that after the Red Zone Blitz. So yeah, I'm happy. I mean, they went in the area that I thought they would go in at the position. Yeah, at least they didn't draft the kicker.
That's twice you mentioned about a kicker going in the first round. I think the last kicker that went in the first round was Janikowski.
That's right.
He went pretty high too in the first round, didn't he?
What the hell was Al Davis thinking?
Well, at least give him this credit. He's still on the team, right?
I don't think so.
Isn't Janikowski still on the team?
I want to say no.
Well,
you should Google it. He might be. I don't remember.
He was on the team for at least 10+ years. So at least that pick worked out for a long time.
But in the first round, here's the thing. Hold on, Ezra. Let's think about this for a second. How do you do this? How do you have all of these great football minds in one room in the draft in the draft war room, right? And you're like, all right, guys. Here's our board. We're gonna take a kicker in the first round. How do you get everybody on board with that? You're like, oh, I think that's a good idea.
Well, first of all, when Al Davis is running the Raiders, there's only one mind in the room. Okay, it's not like anybody was gonna go against Al Davis in that war room. Who's really going up against Al Davis?
I don't know. You gotta think that's ridiculous.
Okay. His longest attempt at a field goal was 76 yards.
Oh my God! I'm assuming he missed, right? Because otherwise he would have the record.
He might have missed, but he probably had enough leg to he probably went the distance.
Come on, man.
Oh, in a game, he hit a Pro Bowl record, 8 extra points.
I mean, if you want to draft kickers in the first round, kick extra points in the Pro Bowl and be my guest.
He was he was the 17th pick. I knew he went pretty high. 17th pick in the first round in the year 2000. That's incredible.
Stupid.
That's incredible. But I can't talk because my Jets picked a kicker in the second round. So
18 Lockhart says Demarius Randall was like a 3rd to 4th round prospect before the combine. Shot him up the board. I've watched a bit of him and I came away unimpressed. Got straight up bullied against Oregon State. However, Randall did play really well against Stanford, so who knows?
18 Lockhart's talking about how the Jaguars took a punter over Russell Wilson in the 3rd round.
Yeah, everybody remembers that too, you know.
But then again, you can't really kill the Jaguars in a sense because
a punter in the 3rd round.
I know that's terrible, a punter in the 3rd round. What I'm saying is, how many picks before? How many people passed on Russell Wilson before that point? Not only the Jaguars.
Yeah, no, you're right. But again, you took a punter in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's why you know what I found incredible last night while I was watching the draft? This, to me, was the most incredible stat of last night. The Jaguars have picked in the top 10 since 2008, and they still suck. Do you understand? How do you pick in the top 10 for 7 straight years, and we can barely talk about their Pro Bowlers, their studs?
Because they don't know how to draft.
How do you draft that much talent? And you are lacking in big playmakers.
Because they take guys like Tyson Alualu, who doesn't do poo. They take guys like Justin Blackman, who's
he was productive. Stupid. He is just stupid, but he is a productive player. When he does play, he does.
Who else have they taken in the 1st round in the last couple of years, at least?
Man, that is terrible, man.
Blake Bortles last year. They took Dante Fowler Jr. last night. Who else have they taken in the 1st round?
You're gonna have me check it out now, man.
I'm curious because I know Alualu comes to mind, Blackman comes to mind, and Bortles comes to mind.
All right. In 2008, it was Derek Harvey.
Who?
8th overall, the defensive end, who amounted to nothing. The year after that, I'm gonna send you the link. They got offensive tackle, Monroe. 2009. You talked about Tyson. He was a 10th pick. 2011, Blaine Gabbert.
Oh, God, that's right.
5th pick, 2012, was Justin Blackman. 2013, the offensive Luke, 2nd overall pick.
Jokel.
Yep. And Blake last year, 3rd overall.
Man, how do you suck so much? How do you suck so bad at picking? Blaine Gabbert?
Even before that, if you talk about, they're two defensive. 2001, they had Marcus Stroud and John Henderson. Remember that? That was a mean defensive line with those two. But after that, you got Brian Leftwich, you got Reggie Williams, the wide receiver, and then the year after that, you got Matt Jones. Oh my God, they just don't know how to draft. It's plain and simple.
I'd love to go be the general manager over there because they don't know what they're doing.
That's incredible, man.
Me personally, I would have taken Leonard Williams over Fowler last night. We don't know about Fowler. He fits their scheme potentially a little bit better, but I don't know. If it was me, I would have taken Williams. So they might. I don't know.
Phenomenal wants to know, who do you think the Panthers will draft in the 2nd round, wide receiver or offensive tackle? It's incredible how, I found incredible as I was talking to friends. The Panthers have no cap room, and I don't know where their money went besides their running backs. Their quarterback's not being paid yet.
D'Angelo isn't on the team anymore.
I know he's not on the team anymore, but why is the Panthers cap so so bad? Who's getting paid on that team?
I don't know. Kuechly? Did they pay Kuechly yet?
I know they haven't paid Kuechly. The Cam Newton hasn't got paid yet.
I forgot to post the link on my Facebook. Yikes.
Come on, man. How you not put it on your Facebook, bro?
I forgot. Hey, if you guys have nothing going on, because I can't talk right now, hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook. We're always there. We're always updating, always posting. Same goes for Ezra at his Facebook, his Twitter. Hit him up on YouTube. Subscribe to him as well. I'm seeing Jameis Winston, his post-draft picture
which was awesome. I
because he's just sitting there with a big thing of crab legs.
I put it on my Facebook. It was incredible. We got the crab legs chilling with the Bucks jersey. That's incredible. I love that. If I'm Lovie Smith or anybody, that's just why. This is one of the reasons why I love Jameis Winston is mental aspect. Okay, I think he would be like, let's say if I wanted him on my Jets. I think he has the personality and the mental aspect to excel in a high pressured situation, a high pressured media. You know, he does have to deal with that the Buccaneers. But let's say if he was in New York, I think he has it to deal with it. And I think that's that picture last night was a FU to a lot of people out there. And, recent reports are saying he didn't steal these crab legs. An employee gave it to him and this and that. That the Florida, I heard this, that Florida actually had a deal with this place that they give free food to the players.
Yeah, but still, that goes against the NCAA.
Yeah, well, okay, but whose fault is that? Yeah. This is like the marijuana situation with Randy Gregory, Shane Ray, and other players.
Yeah, but still.
Everyone does it. Everyone does it in NFL. And that one, not everyone. Let me go with maybe 60% of NFL smoke the ganja, okay? That's why these players still went in the first round. It's not that serious because everyone does it. They just don't get caught. And if you're asking me how I know this, I've hung out with certain players that smoke this and bake cookies immediately. That's not even a joke. They smoke and bake cookies.
Would you care to share which players?
I will not. I can't. No, I would never do that. Okay, I would not share that information.
Maybe off the air.
I could have sworn I told you off the air who this player was, but I'll tell you.
I think I know who it is.
But players do it. I work in a hospitality industry. Okay, I worked for a lot of high luxury places where a lot of athletes come in with their ladies, their groupies, and they ask certain people in our industry to get them some stuff. Never heard them getting caught being drug tested and being tested positive or anything like that. Happens all, and the execs know this. Okay, they want to talk about all high and mighty and all this other crap. They know this, plain and simple. They know what the deal is. So,
18 Lockhart says the Jaguars should be exiled to London. They don't deserve to play in the continental United States.
You know what's the funny part? I've read recently that the Jaguars became the ninth most popular team in London.
Wow. I mean, what does that mean?
I have no idea what that means, but I guess it means they went from 31st, I heard, to 9th. Since,
haven't they played there every year?
Yeah, I guess so. I think Roger Goodell might push them to go over there and stay over there.
They might. I mean, my thing is the plane rides, the trips back and forth. The players over there, nobody's gonna want to at free agency. When it comes down to time to sign free agents, no one's gonna want to sign there. They're like, I'm not gonna go to London.
I would think their taxes are higher up there.
Do they get paid in U.S. dollars? How does that? How's that gonna work?
Well, they might want to get paid in pounds because the pound is stronger than the dollar bill.
Right, but what if you're a player who only wants to play in London for those 8 home games, and then everything, your off season, everything else is going to be you want to spend it in the United States. How do you? I mean, You
It
don't want
might
to
be a
convert
great
your
selling
money.
point too. How many people can say they live abroad and enjoy that lifestyle? Playing,
I don't know.
I don't know. It could be a lot of pros and negatives and stuff like that. If you get paid in pounds, your contract might be valued a lot higher. That I don't know how that will work with the salary cap too, because like I said, the pounds are valued more than the U.S. dollar. So
right. So
I
we'll
don't
see.
know. But that's what Roger Goodell wants, because I think he was asked a recent question: can you do London and L.A.? Which one would you rather do? He said, I want to do both. Roger wants a team in London.
LA is a no-brainer.
LA's a no-brainer. And I have, I got some guys that follow me on Twitter that are passionate. I mean, strong, passionate Jaguars fans. I feel sorry for those fans, but that franchise, I don't know if they need to get out of there. Maybe because they just don't know how to draft and they suck so bad it just seems like Jacksonville's getting the blame for it. Maybe they should. Maybe Jacksonville will support them more, or you'll see them have a stronger base if they actually knew what the hell they were doing. If they were actually ran like an NFL organization. So I don't know. I don't want to put it on the fans so much because this organization has not given that state much to cheer about. When you're drafting the kind of crap we just named.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you draft so bad for so long, but they've been able to do it. And that's why they've been in the top 10 for the last 8 years. You know what? Didn't they make the playoffs in 2008?
Amaral says the Jags does own a team in England. Probably, one of those soccer teams, I believe.
Yeah, he does.
He said, Lovey, who's this? I can't even pronounce your name, man. I know it's Trick, isn't it? Lovey Smith talked about the picture, and he said he has no problems with it, but the organization wants the post removed.
Oh, for the love of
God. I know.
Here we go.
McNutt took the Panthers cap. That's what Amaral just said. McNutt, baby.
Marvin McNutt getting paid $80 million of the Panthers cap.
Oh, David wants to know how bad was that San Diego trade? Do we want to say it was bad? I wouldn't want to say it was a stretch. I guess for Gordon, right?
I mean, they gave up a fourth and a 2016 fifth.
I thought
it was a little bit too much for 2 spots. I thought it was too much, but they wanted to make sure that they got their guy.
But what would we say is a bad? I don't know if we would say it's bad. I would give it a C grade, I guess.
I give it a little bit higher. I mean, if Melvin Gordon pans out in their offense, you're not going to remember the trade. You're not going to be like, oh, they gave up. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter what they gave up because
we're talking about value in the. When we're talking about value, I'm talking about drafting. In that sense, I would give it a C grade. But like you say, if the trade pans out, hey, it is what it is.
It's not going to matter. So we'll see. I think value-wise, they gave up a little bit too much for 2 spots. But
hey, like no one ever complained about when the Chargers traded. Did they do that? They traded the first overall pick to the Falcons so they could get Michael Vick. Was that a trade?
I can't remember.
I believe that was a trade. Long. I believe that was a trade, but no one really remember. See, you don't remember. I think that was a trade, though. I think the Chargers had the number 1 overall pick, and they traded with the Falcons.
The first draft I remember really getting into that I was like, oh, I got to watch this every year after was 2004 when Eli Manning was the first pick by the Chargers. That was the first draft.
That was some drama there because he didn't want to be drafted.
His face was like,
yeah. He told them before I'm not going to play for you guys.
Yeah. Eli has been arrested before?
Oh, I didn't know that, but he's a gangster, so.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, you wouldn't expect that out of Eli. I don't remember. I think he was drunk. He was super intoxicated. He did something stupid. But
that must have been swept under the rug real quick because I didn't hear about that.
Oh, the Manning story they had on ESPN, the
30 for 30. I never watched it.
Might have been. Yeah, it was on there.
Wasn't it about their brother mostly, that 30 for 30?
I don't think so.
Cooper?
I don't think so. But Cooper had. It could have been. We could have been talking about all 3 of them. But I think I can't remember what happened to him. Some illness or something. Injury, something. Yeah.
Let's see.
Anyway,
let's see if we got more. Let's see if we got more comments up in here. Even though my YouTube is saying, nope, not much going on. Did we answer Phenomenal's question? Oh, the Panthers will draft a wide receiver, or they're both a need, that's for sure. But like I always said, and I'm happy my Jets finally did it, you go with the best available player. But if you have the same grade, if your best, if your need and your best available player have the same grade, I guess that's when I will go for the need. If they're both considered A grades, you go for your need.
At this point, though, second round, third round, fourth round, everybody's boards are so completely different that, it starts becoming a crapshoot. Maybe not so much in the second round because there's still some of those top prospects still available, but at like third round, fourth round, fifth round, that's when we just talked about a punter being selected ahead of Russell Wilson a couple years ago. This is when tonight is when it becomes a crapshoot. You have no idea which direction some of these teams are going to go. So I think the Panthers need a receiver more than really anything else. So I think they go receiver, maybe offensive tackle with one of their first two picks, but that would be the smart pick. That would be the pick that they need.
I don't know if it was the best pick, but they damn sure deserve a lot of credit for it. Mr. 7-11-223, best first-round pick was the Seahawks getting Jimmy Graham.
If you want to look at it, if you want to look at it that way, sure.
If you want to look at it as the best value of the first round, but let's not act like they just traded the first round and get Jimmy Graham. They gave up a Pro Bowl center, first round pick. So
yeah, I mean they got a fourth back too.
Yeah, they got a fourth back too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting on the Seahawks trade. It was a beautiful trade. And if you want to talk about best value, probably that. But, yeah, the Seahawks getting Jimmy Graham is huge. But then again, that also makes him the highest paid first-round pick too. Let's not forget about that. If you want to go by that, he is easily the highest paid 31st overall pick in the history in the NFL.
$11 million this year. He's going to count towards the cap.
11, and that's gonna affect the cap, especially when Russell Wilson signs his. When Russell Wilson signs his deal, you can talk about that's when the Seahawks will probably start going down a little bit because they won't have the flexibility to do what they do. Because that cap number, because Russell Wilson is gonna.
That's already happened. That's already started.
What do you think the number he's going to end up with? I imagine at least 20 a year.
I'm going to say around 20. But yeah, I mean that's already happened. Why do you think they haven't been signing back some of these guys in the secondary? Brandon Browner, Byron Maxwell, who else has made their departure? There's been a couple of guys they haven't brought back that they probably, if they weren't going to pay Russell Wilson the money that they're going to pay him. And this is, I mean, how many years does he have left on this deal? One? He's been in the league for 3 years, I think. Has it? Something like that.
Look at TMZ. I'm looking at my Twitter. Right? Did James Winston already make his first NFL blunder? Talking about his picture, it was not a blunder. I thought that was. But then again, I'm not as sensitive as most people.
If you want to eat crab legs, man.
Just because he made a joke about a situation, people want to get sensitive about it. It was not a blunder at all. Okay.
Whatever, man. Leave the guy alone.
Does Chicago take a QB tonight?
It's interesting to hear that Chicago was that team that wanted to trade up for two with the
Titans.
With the Titans. They're saying the Eagles, they're saying the Bears. Those are the final two teams ready to make an offer. It sounds to me the Eagles were desperate. Chip Kelly was just throwing everything, the sink, the bag of footballs. He's just like, here, have everything. I just want Marcus Mariota. We don't really know what the Bears were offering. My assumption was Jay Cutler and their seventh. You know, say, hey, you guys can move back 5 spots. We'll give you Jay Cutler. I don't think the Tennessee Titans wanted to do it, so I would not be shocked, Ezra. This would not shock me at all. Because I know Ken Wisenhunt has said the plan is to start Marcus Mariota week 1. But what if they still decide to trade him? What if they drafted him just to secure that they have him, but maybe they don't stop talking to teams about him?
But don't you think that would have happened already? But don't they want to pick their own players by this point in the first round? You got traded for a potential next year first round pick?
No, potentially like a Jay Cutler or a Sam Bradford or whoever, or you know. But the Eagles already took their guy. They took Nelson Aguilar, who I thought was a reach, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
I think it's all over. I think it's all.
You think it's done?
If the Titans were going to trade Mariota, and if you're saying they would have threw this ridiculous deal and they didn't accept it, I think it's all over. And what I find, maybe the Buccaneers have told everybody, I'm not taking any trades. Winston's our guy, blah, blah, blah. It's just funny that no one's talked about trading up for the number 1 pick. I guess I would imagine the organization said, we have our guy. Sorry, we're not taking any calls.
I think they knew. I think they knew they had Jameis. I think they knew that Jameis was going to be their guy for the last couple of months.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they've been turning down teams left and right because all the talk has been all these teams want to trade up for Mariota. No talk has been, oh, this team is interested in Winston. Because I think the Buccaneers must have told everyone, we're not entertaining any offers.
Right.
This is our guy.
Right.
Because I would have loved my Jets to move up and take Winston.
Again, we've gotten this question before, but we'll go over it again. Who do you think is the best quarterback available right now? This is Mr. 7-Eleven. I think it's Garrett Grayson, the quarterback out of Colorado State, or Bryce Petty. But if I have to pick one, it's Garrett Grayson. Bryce Petty has the size that you want in a quarterback. And the Saints, I've heard, believe that he's the best pure passer in this draft, which, you know, whatever that means. They might take him in the second round, the Saints. It wouldn't shock me. Draft him, develop him behind Drew Brees. Andrews Pete being drafted at 13 isn't also a shock to me at all because you have Teron Armstead at the left tackle position, but then you have, I forget his name at right tackle, who's 31 years of age. I think it's Strife or Streif. You're going to need somebody there to anchor that side of the line. So, you know, you have 2 young guys at the tackle positions that, you know, are going to protect whoever your future quarterback is going to be. Potentially Bryce Petty, if they decide to take him at whatever pick they have, 44 or something like that tonight. So watch out for Bryce Petty going to the Saints. But Garrett Grayson is my guy at the third and the number 3 spot for the quarterback position in this draft.
All right, so we go some predictions here. What do you think? What do you think? Any surprises will happen in today? Do you think there's going to be more activity in the trade market?
Yeah.
Today? I think there's going to be a lot of trades. I think today is going to be more of the trading day than yesterday.
Do you think someone trades up for Randy Gregory right away?
I don't know about Randy Gregory, but maybe see these other guys, maybe Beckham or.
I really want to see who takes Dorial Green Beckham because I read somewhere in the comments earlier, the Bengals. Can you imagine
him and
having
AJ Green?
2 skyscrapers at wide receiver? Holy moly!
I want to ask the guy. I know this is off the draft, but this was a big discussion last night amongst me and my friends, and I want to ask you guys in the comment box. We were talking about our top 5 wide receivers, okay? And my friends were killing me for putting Antonio Brown as my number 2. Does that bother you, David? And does that bother anybody in the comment box? Because I said my 5 was, you know, you got Megatron number 1. I had Antonio Brown number 2. this was tough for me. I got Bryant number 3, Green number 4, and I think I went Julio Jones number 5.
No love for Demaryius Thomas?
No, I didn't have Demaryius in my top 5.
I don't know.
Because they made some good points, which I understand what they were saying. They're saying, well, Brown, can he, make a team better? Can he make a quarterback better like a Dez Bryant? Or can he have that same effect on teams on a different team? I understand that point. I don't think he could do that like a Dez Bryant or
because he's a small
AJ
guy,
Green.
isn't he?
Yeah, he's a small. But my thing is, they were talking about he got an incredible amount of targets with the Steelers. I said yes, and my other friend was saying there's no other receivers on the Steelers either. I said yeah, but that means he's getting double teamed. That means you already know who's going to get the ball on the Steelers, and he still produce. You can't take away from his production, especially the last 2 years, which has been ridiculous amount of production. Maybe he doesn't have the physical abilities of these other guys, but I said Peyton Manning doesn't have the physical abilities of other guys, and he's still Peyton Manning. Do you understand what I'm saying here? It's just they were killing me for that. And they're not saying Antonio Brown's not a top 5 guy. They were just saying that they don't believe he should be a number 2 in my list.
He's been leading the league, I think, in receiving yards the last 2 years.
Yeah. Catches, yards,
Yeah, he's been all over the place. I don't like ranking players. I never really have. It's too hard.
It's too hard. And it's a fun – I think ranking players is always a fun discussion because there's so many different opinions about that. And you can't go wrong with this top 5 list.
Right.
You can't go wrong. Okay? Maybe sometimes there's certain things you can't, it's like who can you put above LeBron James? When it's that aspect, who can you really put above Megatron? When it comes to stuff like that, maybe that's when we're like, okay, whoa. Let's take it easy a little bit there, buddy.
All right.
But to me, it was pretty hard. When it comes to Green and Bryant, that one really bothers me because I love Green. I think Green is – if I would have said Green last night as my number 2, I would have felt comfortable with that too, even though I have him number 4 on my list right now.
It doesn't bother me that you had Brown number 2. He was very productive last year for the Steelers, and that was coming from Cubone. Noel West, as a Steelers fan, he says, I'm a little biased. I think Brown is the best, but I can see how his size hurts him in people's rankings. Ron Batura says Odell Beckham over Antonio Brown.
That's another. It led to that discussion too. It was like, is Odell Beckham already a top 10 wide receiver? That's what they were saying. I was like, I can't say that yet because you got to give me a little bit more of a body of work.
As a guy in my GM league last year who drafted Odell Beckham Jr., and I felt as if he was one of the best top 3 receivers in the draft with him, Sammy Watkins, and, well, I can't remember who else came out. I drafted him in my GM league. He has this hamstring injury up to a certain point in the season, and he still wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. So he's got it. He's got the potential. He's shown it. I think it's possible. Give him another year, we could be talking him as a top 10 receiver.
Yeah, if he puts up the same kind of numbers he did, yes, I'll put him up there in the top 10. But right now I can't do that because I got to see a little bit more body of work. And Noel West, he put couldn't be happier with Dupree at number 22, one of the biggest steals of the draft. We spoke about that earlier, West, and we both agree. I said they waited for the seashells. Steelers, once again, pick up a great guy. I don't know. I keep snapping my fingers tonight. I don't know. I apologize. I won't do that again.
He also asks, as a Packer fan, are you all concerned that Clinton Dix and Demarius Randall are both free safety types? Neither have the size or style to play strong safety. But on the flip side, you can never have enough athletic guys to run with big, fast receivers. Thing with Randall is, I mentioned this earlier, they're going to play him at corner. I think they drafted him to play cornerback. They loved his cover skills. Many say that he is the best cover safety in the draft. So I think they drafted him to be more of a cornerback and not a safety. Also with Clinton Dix, they've paired him up with Morgan Burnett. So I think we should be all right. I think, the top 5 guys or top 6 guys in our secondary, there's a lot of depth there. Casey Hayward, Sam Shields, Clinton Dix, Morgan Burnett, Micah Hyde, and now Demarius Randall. There's a lot of guys there for defensive coordinator Dom Capers to play with. I'm not very, very much concerned about this pick. I'm going to watch the tape later on today, though. I want to see for myself, how Demarius Randall played at Arizona State.
Pro Football Talk. I'm reading right now. Malcolm Brown said he said, I'm about to be the best player y'all ever drafted, so y'all be ready when I touch the field. That's what he said.
Every player's going to say that.
No, he said y'all ever drafted. Y'all ever drafted. I don't know why I'm putting Southern accent. I don't know how he talks. I don't know why I'm putting Southern accent. But y'all about to get the best player I ever drafted, so be ready for when I touch the field.
Because he's from Texas?
I have no idea where he's from. I have no idea. I don't know his background. He's from Texas. Anytime I see the word y'all, I feel like I got to put the Southern accent all together. So just saying, he just already mentioned he's going to be better than Tom Brady. It's going to be the best pick ever in Patriots history.
He's just excited. That's all it was.
I know that. I'm not going to bother. That doesn't kill me he said that. But that is his those are his first remarks about being drafted.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up, Ezra.
Ooh, wrap it up. Should we talk about let me show you let me hit you off with this link. Should we talk about this is a mock draft for the second round by Pro Football Talk. Should we go through that a little bit? Just a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll send it to you right now. And then so we can have the guys maybe look something forward to if we agree or disagree with any of these picks real quick. I sent you the link. That's their second round mock draft, Pro Football Talk. And there we go.
Let's check it out here.
Oh, you're talking about the Titans picking first. Nose tackle, Eddie Goldman, Florida State.
That's my guy.
That's your guy.
I really like Eddie Goldman. I think he's going to be solid for somebody at the nose tackle position.
Hey, you were talking. Oh man, you're talking about your boy Beckham. They got him mocked at 36 to the Jaguars, and I said, remember, I had them picking Kevin White, picking a wide receiver. They need to pick up a weapon for their guy. So I don't know.
Possible.
And that's what pick ahead of my Jets. And they got them picking Jake Fisher, offensive tackle. They got the Rams picking up Randy Gregory.
There's so many talented players still left. I'm surprised they don't have Eric Rowe anywhere in the second round. That's really surprising.
And so much your first quarterback question.
Yeah.
The Pro Football Talk has Bryce Petty going to the Bills at number 50. First quarterback taken in the second round.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Cowboys fans, they have Coleman from Indiana, the running back, being drafted with the 60th pick. And the Broncos picking up Duke Johnson from Miami with the 59th pick.
A lot of big names left. There's TJ Yeldon, running back, taken at 55 by the Cardinals. Running back Amir Abdullah taken by the Lions at 54. They got 4 running backs taken in like 7 picks there, which is interesting. Jalen Strong, the wide receiver, taken by the Niners at 46. I don't know. There's a lot of big names still left. So we'll see. I hope you guys tune in tonight for the draft. Kind of stay tuned for that. My question is, I don't know why the Titans have 33 and the Buccaneers have 34. I never understood what the whole flippy floppiness of that was. Why do the Jets have 37 and the Redskins have 38 when it's supposed to be the other way around? The Jaguars have 36 and the Raiders have 35 when it's supposed to be the other way around. Like they flip-flopped here.
No idea, my good man.
That's so I don't get that. What I don't know. That's kind of weird. But anyway, we are heading out in Red Zone Blitz. I'm gonna go grab some lunch, watch some tape. Ezra probably gonna practice some samurai sword skills or something.
Wow, no, how dare you? I'm gonna go hit the gym a little bit, work on these guns. So see that I gained some weight at Japan, so I got to work out these guns. Going to my nephew's tonight, watch the draft, and then do a live stream on Twitch, which I don't talk sports. I just talk craziness. And, yeah, have some fun. Watch my Jets pick up a wide receiver, hopefully.
All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter. Do the same thing for Ezra. Check out his YouTube as well. That's all we got for you guys today on the Red Zone Blitz.
Thank you for coming by for last minute, guys. Woo! JTSJ.